So, this is it. The mental world.
It looks like a dentist office.
A mental dentist office.
It's a recruiting office, kids, and I'm here to recruit you for the greatest job in the world, being a psychonaut. It's about fighting a war for mental freedom. Are you ready to face torture, insanity, and death? Because this is your last chance to chicken out.
Oh, me, sir. I'd like to chicken out, please.
Too late, soldier.
But you said...
There's only one way out of here. Fighting. I want one of you chickens to sock me square in the jaw. I warn you, once you do, the war is on.
Well, you know what war is really good for? Progressing in the game! What's up, everybody, and welcome to Team Pizza Plays Psychonauts. A long overdue episode of Team Pizza Plays Psychonauts. Oh boy. How you doing, guys? Are you having fun? Did you enjoy your Thanksgiving? Spend some time with the family, the Lily's Supermarket? You know, that place where you can pick up all those cool foodstuffs from around the world. Oh, and they have those little panda cookies that... I'm dodging the issue. Okay, so let's talk about proper care and maintenance of an external hard drive, shall we? For instance, did you know, because I didn't know this, that you're not supposed to leave them plugged into your computer for hours on end? Yeah, it turns out only a professional desktop is supposed to run for that long. Those little things that you buy at Target for about $60 are very prone to overheating if you leave them plugged in for a while. Also, if you're using something like that for backup purposes, make sure that it's actually backed up. Like, you have a copy of this somewhere else, preferably on your desktop, because if you don't do that and your hard drive ends up breaking or something, you're gonna lose, oh, not much, say, 250 gigs worth of stock footage. Yeah, no big deal for me, like, over 300 hours of work gone. A whole year's worth of effort. Whoopsie! Pfft. Lost to the ether forever. Now you may be wondering, that was only a couple days ago if you've been following my Facebook or something. You know this didn't happen too long ago. Why didn't I put the footage up before then, before it was completely lost? Mostly due to being completely overwhelmed here. Like, I've just been taking way too many responsibilities on myself lately. I will fully admit that. I have not been able to keep up on everything I've been wanting to produce on all the places I want to produce it. However, let it never be said that I don't learn from my mistakes. I am actually in the process of hiring an editor. Well, I say hire. He's willing to do it for free because he's an awesome guy. So, hopefully this type of situation won't happen in the future. It'll actually free up time for me to do some of the things I've wanted to get around to. Such as, you know, this gameplay channel, and also a certain series based on an abbreviation that shall not be named. Just throwing that out there. So, with all that in mind, hopefully you guys can forgive me for the fact that this took so long to put together. And maybe we can all go from there. So, without... And if you still can't forgive me, by the way, take a look at some witty banter that I've brought you. Maybe that'll make you feel better.
We can't get past this! This is stupid!
Looks like a test. There's probably a secret, more advanced route.
What's that supposed to mean? You think you're more advanced than me, new kid?
Sorry, what?
I'm not stupid. You're stupid. The coach is stupid. The whole camp is stupid. That thing flying at you is stupid.
What's flying at me?
Bobby Zeltz's foot, that's what! You stupid new kid! Yeah!
Oh. Thanks for saving me.
Well, actually, I was saving this plant.
Never seen one so meaty before.
I have. It's been appearing in this creepy nightmare I keep having.
You're having nightmares? Oh, I've been reading about how to fix those. Will you let me see one?
No.
I love the characters in this game. That's part of why this is such a cult classic, because everybody was realized so well. Alright, a lot of things got said at the beginning of this run-through, like a lot of explanations, a lot of tutorials. Long story short, all of these 2D paper graphics we're picking up in the environment, these are figments. Every time I collect one, I get a couple figment points. If that bar fills up to 100, we'll get a new rank, and it'll be happy, happy times. As for the luggage we were dealing with there, that is emotional baggage. You find the tag for it, bring it back to the luggage, and if you find all 5, you'll get a really big reward. So, which, hopefully we will, because I'd like to think I've played enough of this game to know where everything is by now. Now, we're actually not supposed to be in this place right now. This is the classified route, if you couldn't tell by the sign. This is actually a shortcut across what would otherwise be a very difficult bit of terrain. Also gives you a bunch of bonus figments, which is always good. Gotta raise up this rank as quickly as possible because I want to set things on fire. So many powers to get to, so little time. You know, a lot of people make fun of me for this fact, but I am, well, a completionist. I like to find absolutely everything, which, for anybody who's played this game before, you know that is quite the task. Between all of the bags, all of the figments, all of the different things you could try to find, this game is not exactly easy to find everything in. It's almost not Banjo-Kazooie. Banjo-Kazooie was actually alright. Donkey Kong 64 is the game everybody likes to make fun of. I'm sorry. Getting my collectathons mixed up here. Ah! I couldn't catch it through the cloud of miasma. Oh well. We'll get another roundabout there. Grab a couple others, and while we wait for that thing to come back around, how about a little more extra banter for you?
One nightmare. Nope.
Oh, just the interactions between all of these fantastic personalities. Man, I had a great joke I made last time, too. That's the sad part. That's what I put in the preview during the last episode, and it's gone forever now. Back things up. Never trust your tribes to do the job they were intended to do. Even though you think you can, even though you think that everything's gonna be alright, come here. Oh, barely snagged that one. Raz's double jump is actually very useful in this game. Incredibly good traversal power, which, if you're going to make a collectathon 3D platformer, your character is going to need to be really good at what he does, which is jumping around.
Is your name Joey?
No,
'Cause I'm gonna call you Slowy Joey.
that's not my name.
What was that, Slowy? I can't hear ya. You're talking too slow.
Oh, don't you love Coach Oleander? He's... I wanted to say the best there, but that's not 100% true. I think there's one other person who's everybody's favorite character. We've seen a little bit of her so far, and don't worry, we'll get to her level soon enough. In due time, ladies and gentlemen, in due time. Let's focus on the blessings we've got now. Like trampolines! Pig figments. Pigments? If you will. God, I love wordplay. I think I get it from my grandfather, to be honest with you. He would do all kinds of turns of phrases. Like, he would intentionally screw up words for comedic effect. It made him a lot of fun to talk to. Like, hey, fire up the confuser for me, will ya? It was one of my personal favorites. He's also the one that I picked up Confound It from. Because his personal philosophy on curse words was they're poor substitutes for a very small vocabulary, which I don't 100% agree with. There are situations where they would be appropriate, but I totally understand where he's coming from. It's like, yeah, why use them all the time? If you use them too much, they just lose all of their meaning. So make them count. Make them worth something. By the way, if you want to get a little extra bonuses here...
Dogen, what's wrong?
I keep blowing up.
Here, follow me, Dogen. I'll help you out. This is going to be really bad because I can't hear the game. I have the game turned down really low because if I have too much of the audio, then I start to lose focus. I can't exactly play 100% and talk at the same time. Your brain's attention span can only be split so many different ways, unfortunately. And no, come on, Dogen. This is actually a prequel to some other things that are going to be happening later on. This is just a little tutorial, a little optional thing you can do to get yourself used to this, because this leading somebody somewhere will end up become important later on. But for now, how about you give me a couple arrowheads so we can move on with our lives? As a psychic arrowhead in this case, which it may not have a physical form, but we can still take it back into the physical world with us and spend it on who knows what. Alright, just a couple pictures left to get. I see you there. Haha! And moving one. I try to get that sometimes while I'm just walking around, but you know, you're juggling a couple different things, adding conversation into the mix as well. Yeah, it doesn't quite work the way you want it to. God, it feels like I've done this episode many times before, but then again, like I said, this is a second recording, or third recording, or God almighty. Never mind how long it's taken to put this together. Don't pay attention to that man behind the curtain.
Hey, no one told me to pack a chute.
Oh my God, this scene. You're gonna love the little banter between these two characters. Just watch this.
Well, I guess we're all going to die. My whole life is flashing before my eyes. My first memory is of my dog, Lady. Lady and I used to go for long walks. They would go on and on and on and on. This one time, we went on a walk we called the longest walk of all time. First, we went to the end of our street. And then we walked 4 miles. And then Lady had to stop and scratch. And then we turned left. And then Lady saw a gopher. And then we got attacked by bees. And then I fell down a manhole and had to reset my own arm back in the socket. And then we had a snack. And then we walked half a mile. And then I gave Lady a bone.
You gotta love Tim Schafer's sense of humor. He just knows how to write really good characters, or at least somebody at Double Fine does. Then again, he's the only one who's been a part of this particular group for so long, so I'd like to think he has a hand in it. Like, he's done... God, I don't even have to talk about his resume at this point, do I? Like, so many people know what the man is responsible for. Not the least of all Grim Fandango, which I think got an HD remix earlier this year? If you haven't checked that out, by the way, it's... some of the logic in the puzzles are definitely products of a bygone era, but it does have a place in gaming history, so bring a walkthrough, but come for the humor, but bring a walkthrough. Like, definitely don't be afraid to ask for questions on that one. You have my permission. You won't lose any gamer points in my book. Meanwhile, we're playing a minigame. Just bust up the soldiers. While they warn you about the bad targets, like the ones if you attack them you'll lose points, you don't actually have to worry about them during this first run-through. Well, as soon as I say it, that's weird! I don't usually see those. Like, I'm not even kidding you guys, that's the first time I have ever seen one of the green targets in the first round. Now, you can play this game again for extra arrowheads. And that's really all you get, is extra arrowheads, but it's worth doing it just to, I don't know, bragging rights? Also, yeah, you're gonna have to move the camera sometimes, or at least I am. Like, it's got a fairly easy to follow sound effect to work with, but again, because I've got it turned down so low, problems. Oh, stop making excuses. You're just not lead enough, man, I'm telling you. Here's where things start to get hard. If they just don't give me another one, like another bad target. I knew it! I wanted to get out of the way now, so I intentionally triggered fate. Intentionally tempted you guys, and it worked. I think these things eventually... Oh, they just move in weird ways. I always thought they homed in on you.
Something to hide. They store away their shame, their dirty little secrets, in these tiny vaults in their minds. The enemy is not allowed any secrets in wartime, are they, soldier? So go ahead and bust open this vault. I got nothing to hide.
Hee. As a certain other famous Let's Player would say, remember that for later viewers. Remember the specific way he put that.
Good.
For now, let's grab ourselves an arrowhead and look at a profile. Oleander's Pride. The way this shows it to you, it's definitely painting a very particular picture about this man, isn't it? I love how over the top they go with this too. Like this riding on a missile while carrying around a, like 500-pound anchor. No big deal. And of course he spends a little time with the children too, because underneath that gritty exterior, he's got a true American heart. Yep, that's definitely a man of war for you.
You enjoy that. One of my
Man, these little memories, that you find all over the place, they're worth hunting down the safes for, simply because they're so much fun to look at. And look, this is why they made you play that game. Oh, big scary dude, huh? Well, everybody's got an Achilles heel. How about I punch a little bit of psychic energy into yours? Not so tough now, are ya? Little details like that. You pay attention to that when you start learning how to make your own games. It's like, how do you teach the player without using a single line of dialogue? Without using a single bit of text? Like, that's a very rare trait these days, isn't it? Like, even Xenoblade Chronicles X, just every time it wants to explain something brand new to you, it just gives you pages and pages, like paragraphs that you have to of new material that you have to learn right then and there. It's like you couldn't find a better way to go about this, guys, really? Some clever little way to explain all of these concepts to me? Oh well. Don't worry about us missing a couple figments here and there. Like, now that the gun's down, we can actually take our time and get them at our own pace. Besides, as you saw earlier there, we end up taking a whole point of damage, and considering from that gun, and considering we've only got 3 to work with, might want to hold on to that. One over here that we missed earlier because we're a terrible person. Stop wasting our time. Get to the point of the level. God. I don't care about your OCD. Just just make something interesting happen. Well, I'm trying. I'm just trying to do it in a timely manner. Besides, more interesting things will happen in the future if we actually go about getting all of these things. We'll have more powers to work with, more interesting things to work with. Think of it like an investment. Put in a little time now and you'll have a much more interesting show later. So be sure to tune in to the next episode. No, I'm kidding. I'm not that much of an absolute shill. But we're coming up on time here, aren't we? That's been about 10-15 minutes. So, what's behind this big scary wall right here? Tune in next time to Team Pizza Plays to find out. Until then, I'm Whatthefnu. Later, everybody! These broken up planes, the worlds in this game are fantastic. Like, if I can talk about design for just a moment, like, every single area is fantastically realized. Like, it takes a concept and just runs with it. I'm glad I'm talking about this while we have one of the bag animations completely blocking your view of the environment.